Our third speaker will be Dr. Anothai Nitibhon, who finished her study in composition at the University of Edinburgh and is now a vice president and chair for the postgraduate program at the Princess Galyani Vadhana Institute of Music, or PGVIM. As a composer and artist, she creates and curates many concerts, exhibitions, and activities that promote the collaboration between musicians, artists from different disciplines and musical cultures. She also hosted an annual international symposium and ASEAN Youth Ensemble project at PGVIM. Both events focus on exploring the context in which Western and local musics can encourage dialogue while remaining connected to the people and their local value. Her paper, or her presentation, is entitled Seize the Day, the Art of Expressing Our Time.
In the last 2 years, we have all been impacted by COVID-19, with its consequences still reverberating throughout the world. However, music and many other performance-based art forms have discovered new ways to reconnect with our audience and continue living our arts. I have seen many young musicians marvel at their creative resilience and rediscover their musical values, reconnecting with their musical stories and redefining how music plays in their lives. This presentation will showcase lessons learned from the new generation's musicians in Thailand who have discovered ways to reconnect with their arts and transform themselves during the changing times. We have seen that the idea of production is not just an additional element to the music, but the design. We have witnessed musical creations no longer separate itself from other art forms, but reconnected to other expression. There are many other boundaries that we have crossed, not only musical boundaries, but of discipline, practices, and understanding. Our young musicians now discover their multiple identities, not just one. They also realize that musicians are not alone, as we belong to society and are obliged to the same duty as other citizens. Here, I'll show you some examples of the answers they gave me when I asked them their perspective of the current situation. Accompanied with it will be some of the projects that reflect those points. The first questions that I asked our young musicians is about change. How should we handle changes? Happiness is the key, because if you're applying all these strange elements to your music without feeling that it belongs to you, it will become alienated and bitter. Here I have two examples. The first one is Desire by Shatkun Visuddhisara. Here, she explored the idea of design in the 21st century, comparing to those promised by the devil in the fly shoots. Shatkun decided to use a visual element to help her imagine the character expressions when facing such temptation. Then, these artworks become the stage design and act as a visual cue for the audience in the following. Another example is Contrast by Phương Phá Rak Rong. She explores the colorful contrast in Kabalevsky's violin concerto and connects it with her passion for visual design. She experiments how each color informs influence others and how those differences create contrast, intervals, and harmonic progression, which is reflected in her performance. The next question is about being an artist, how to be an artist during these changing times. The answer is that it's all about a balance between the perceptions of the society, expectations of the people, and the inner world within you. example from Coolidge in his project Music from People. In this concert, he ought to play a solo on Bach's Cello Suite No. 2, but after such a long time not being able to meet and make music with others, he decided to rearrange the piece for a trio, and taking the chance at the recording to reconnect with his friends through music. He did not see the purpose of being a virtuoso on stage, where there is such a dire need for human connections during the last years. It is hard for all students to be taken away from the normal life. We have seen many of them suffer from burning out and depression. This is another student who discovered his new passion in coding by pushing himself out of his comfort zone. Patarapon tried to reconnect with the music he plays by creating the online game which will help the audience experience Schumann's Markenbilder as a quest. Each scene structured by the form of the piece, each character informed by his own experience, finding the way out of the maze. The next question is about the artwork itself. In their opinion, they said that the artwork is not just about perfection or all, but it should remind people that in the ordinary, there are wonders. The example I took is from Imagineer Music for Ears by Shamamat Galbodi. She designed listening activities for general audiences, where she created a podcast, a new composition, to encourage and engage the audience in a very simple way of music making, with the aim to promote listening. She also made a website and designed activities where the general audience can participate and experience listening in a way that we have forgotten already in this fast-paced world. Let us watch a short video of her work.
การจัดกิจกรรมอบรมเชิงปฏิบัติการเกี่ยวกับการฟังในรูปแบบออนไลน์ รวมไปถึงการรวบรวมผลงานทั้งหมดในรูปแบบของเว็บไซต์ เพื่อเป็นการส่งต่อให้กับผู้คนที่สนใจ
Our next question is about the people, about audiences. What is our role toward our audiences? Let me show you the example before getting to the answer.
สวัสดีพี่ปื้มก่อนเด้ฮัลโหลพี่ปื้มก่อนฮัลโหลพี่ปื้มบ๊ายบาย
และหมาก็ตายลง
พี่อ้อนมาพี่อ้อนถึงไหมลูกเอาไม่เข้านะพี่อ้อนเลยไม่อ้อนนานน้องเลยนะขอให้น้องไปสู่สุคติสวรรค์นะเดี๋ยวเธอมาใหม่
เขาบอกว่าหมาทุกตัวที่ตายล้วนไปวิ่งอยู่บนสวรรค์ แล้วปุถุชนคนเดินดินอย่างเราน่ะจะมีโอกาสได้ไปเยี่ยมหมาบนนั้นบ้างหรือเปล่านะ
This is the excerpt from Kesin Jujan's All Dogs Die Eventually, where he hints at the story of his family's members passing. With the story of his passing dogs, a memory of his home, and the music of Mahler, it is pretty fragmented, but with all these ingredients combined, you felt the meaning expressed not only by the visual elements, but also very strongly by the sounds and music. This corresponds with the answer given by another young musician, saying that if you're honest, part of yourself, your signature, your stories can be conveyed to your audience. Don't try too hard to own the music or do it for yourself, just make it felt rather than seen. Sometimes if you're trying too hard to possess the music you make, it may actually compel your audience from your hard work. This brings us to the last point about creativity. As an artist, what can we offer to the society that we now realize we are part of? One of the young musicians said that being an artist is more about the way you see the world rather than the practices. It is essential to realize the subtlety in oneself and find ways to connect with other people sensitively, building a society based on trust and empathy. There are two projects that I would like to show you here. The first one is a holistic guide to self-balance, developing self-awareness through listening and improvisatory interpretation by Yanini Pongpakatian. Yanini developed a method of improvisation where she can share with her musician fellows and other audience so that they can experience how music can connect people, and more importantly, connect with our inner voice. She found that it is crucial to be rooted with our own consciousness at this devastating time. And listening is the first way to reconnect with oneself.
เป็นการพัฒนาการฟังเพื่อพัฒนาทักษะในการเล่นแต่กิจกรรมที่จะนำเสนอนี้จะเป็นการพัฒนากระบวนการรู้จักตนเองหรือการสร้างพื้นที่ในการให้ความสำคัญกับการรับรู้และการรู้จักผู้อื่นผ่านกระบวนการสร้างเสียงอย่างการ improvisation
Another project that I would like to show here is a project that also helped raise awareness, this time not about personal challenge, but about social problems. Bangkok, or Reflections of Bangkok Through Crusty Frames by Pink Sky Orchers. They wish to remind the people of Bangkok, the so-called heavenly city, about the pollution and the nightmares we created for ourselves. This is still a work in progress, but we are hoping to see this group of musicians compose new pieces, design sounds, make performances, and create a social movement that will bring people concerned with Bangkok's well-being to act and make changes happen. All these answers and examples are things that I have learned from my students and younger generations of musicians. They have proved to me that there are a lot more things that we as an educator can learn from their examples. I really appreciate that they seized the day and had not failed to respond to any challenges that came their way, and made sure that the story of our time will reverberate through their arts, their music, for many generations to come.